Next, we're going to apply label to the cup. So this lid window, I can hide that. I'm going to show the cup. And with this cup, we also have a graphic for that. I'm just going to take the graphic for the cup, drag it onto the outside, and then again, it'll give me some options. I can say add label. This label, we will need to be cylindrically wrapped. So I'm going to go down to mapping type and change it from planar to cylindrical. And I can click on move texture, and it's going to bring up this tool that allows me to view where it's being mapped. And then also I could drag it around with that tool if needed, but it's just really nice to see where is the metaphorical cylinder is being wrapped around. With cylindrical wraps, it's always going to wrap around this tube and then go all the way into the middle and all the way out. There's no way to really stop it with a depth or a single side. It's always going to go all the way through. If I go up here, I can change it from DPI to scene units. And with scene units, it gives me this nice tool of wrap, which is in degrees. So with this cup, I know this graph is going to wrap 360 degrees around the cup. Perfect. Now that's exactly where I want it. And then I can go down to angle here and check and make sure that that's exactly centered, left, right, and in, out of the cup. Another tool that might be helpful, we can go to camera and click on orthographic view, and that will view straight on. I can also go to camera and look at the front exactly, and then I'll see, do I have any extra? I have some, it's going on the bottom a little bit more. I'm going to drag that up. Yeah, I like how that is. I can also reference the specification here just to see kind of what the designers wanted. I like that. I like where that's at. So I'm going to click the checkbox there. I'm done moving it around. Now you might notice the cup's not transparent. So let's go to properties. Instead of diffuse, we want this to be glass. And I'm going to make this glass refractive. And we'll see why in a little bit. But the reason is making this glass instead of glass solid so I can see the liquid inside better, more realistic rendering. And then also, because it's just transparent, there's no color to it, it's going to translate to print just fine. This value comes in as default 77. I don't want that. I want 100. So it's exactly white. Now it's not going to add any color to the part. Now, issue here. We have this label being projected into the inside of the cup, and that's not good. This label should be on the outside and not on the inside, because that's not realistic as far as how the cup will be manufactured. To fix this, we need to separate this one solid body into multiple surfaces. So with this clicked, we're going to go to Tools and say Split Object Surfaces. And maybe it wasn't selected, so I'll click on Cup and say OK. When we import our parts into KeyShot, we needed to make sure each one was watertight to start with, the voluminous part. Now we're going to split it, and that's okay. We're going to split it, and it's now going to be in multiple different surfaces, but KeyShot knows that they started as the same part, and they should go back together as one part when we're done. When I click on triangle here, it's going to grab all triangles until it gets to 45-degree angle, and then it'll stop selecting more triangles. So right now, it picked all of these, and that looks pretty good. There's this red circle on the bottom that's going to be applied to the bottom of the cup, and I want to make sure it grabs it. Doesn't span across our two surfaces. So I'm actually going to hold down Control and then click again. So now I have that whole thing, so I have the whole outside and the inside, and it's grabbing around this whole lip. I kind of like that. I like how that's going to look. There's some tools here where you can pick individual triangles instead of by splitting angle. You can also, if you do that, you can use a brush tool or marquee tool. You can hold down Shift to make a box selection. You can also hold down Control to pick individually more triangles. Once you have all the triangles selected that you want to split, you'll click on Split Surface. Now we have two surfaces. You can hide and show the different surfaces to see what your selections are. You can also split more surfaces. I could go back in and pick that and then click split again, and then I'd have three different surfaces in the end that I could apply different materials to. But this is all I need for this part, so I'll click apply. Once that's applied, I can go back to scene, and I can see that I have cup. That's the original voluminous file. And I also have cup triangles. Cup actually is nothing now. I can hide and show that all day long, and it's not going to change anything on display. Cup triangles is the two surfaces. I have this plus icon next to it. I click on that, and it'll show me this is the inside. I can hide that. And this is the outside. Those are the two surfaces we just split. So this cup I can actually delete. I click and delete. It says, you are sure? Yes. Cup triangles. I'm going to name these so it's easier to identify which one is which. One is the inside and one is the outside. The inside, I'm going to double click on that, go to labels, and then delete that label. Now I can see the labels on the outside and not on the inside. Based on this thread, the thread does not have a label on it anymore. Next, let's add the red circle to the bottom of the cup. So I'm going to go to cup outside, double click, that'll bring me into the materials, or I could really just take my graphic and pull it, drag it onto that body. I'm going to say add label. This thing came in huge. You should check with the design specification for this part, but I'm just going to make this file close to where I remember this red circle or the size that it should be. And then it's just a white graphic. I'm going to click on blend with color, and that will turn it red. If I go to angle, I can see the angle of this really doesn't matter. I'm just going to set 0 to be simple. And then tilt, I don't need any tilt. Centered X, it should be centered on the cup, X being left and right. And then Z into and out of the screen or to the back and front of the cup, that should be centered as well. Y is a vertical position. That can be really anything. And now it's just on the outside of the cup. For the label on the window of the lid, we had to turn off two-sided, so it just showed up on the top side of the lid. For this label, if we turn off two-sided, it actually only shows from the bottom and not from the top. So this one truly needs to be two-sided, and that way we can see the label from the bottom and we can see it from the top. And this label is intended to actually be seen from the top or inside of the cup more than from the bottom. This is what's really important. And because we split surfaces here, it's only going to be on this surface, and it's not going to be on the inside of the cup where the liquid is. That wouldn't look right. But because we split surfaces, that works.